Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay Today. And we are having a different type of show. I mean, it's just the day after, actually 2 days now after the election. And we're here in LA with Aaron Villaraigosa. How are you, Aaron?
I'm well, Matt. Thank you. Thank you for saying my name properly.
I'm from LA, and so of course, if, for anybody who's wondering, his uncle was the mayor of Los Angeles, so that's also why that name is very at the tip of my tongue.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, that name is familiar in Los Angeles. And yes, my uncle was the mayor for 8 years. And I was very fortunate for that because I actually got to work for him for a few of those years. And it actually launched my career into to government sales and what I do now, which is I do business to government sales in tech. So I
Yeah.
sell for tech companies to governments, a very, very specific niche of business that nobody's used to, but I am.
I love it. But no, this is going to be a little different because rather than just chatting about the business side, especially Aaron and I have been chatting over the last few weeks, and especially when it comes to where we're at today, there's just a lot of feelings and a lot going on. And but no, you just whether it's working with your uncle and kind of delving into the world of politics, but your path and everything, a lot of where we're at today, it seems like it's kind of it was very impactful when you had to go through a lot of the same things that many of us did, which was kind of bullying and just overall some of the negative things that we've dealt with in the past that are in some ways kind of coming back to light again in today's world, at least on the media.
Really, no, it really is, and this is why I wanted to talk to you as well and have these conversations because, I was bullied and obviously you were bullied too before bullying became a hashtag and became a thing and I actually I even remember teachers like laughing and allowing the kids to bully me. So things have definitely getting better, but now because of Trump in the last 4 years. As we were speaking about earlier, these people have now come back out of the woodwork. And so it's time to actually make sure that we don't forget that we've come a long way, but we're actually quickly retracting back to what we were before with Trump being in office and with all of the policies that they're trying to put forward are just kind of taking ourselves back 10, 20 years. And this is not what we want to do. We don't want to go in reverse order. Kids today feel so, and we were talking about this earlier, Gen Z, people are so fluid and so open about sexuality. My younger cousins love that they have, my brother's gay as well, that they have two gay cousins and they talk about it all the time. And they every time I meet one of their friends, oh, you're his cousin Aaron, they all love us and they're all open, everybody's cool. But it wasn't like that 20 years ago. And now, since Trump has been in office, it's kind of, we're reverting back to that. And that makes me nervous. But hopefully if Biden wins, we'll find out everything will be okay.
That's really the whole thing. I mean, right now, that's what we're in that limbo right now. That this even having this interview at this moment in time, we're going to look back and say, yeah, I remember how I felt at that moment. But it's interesting because, as you were saying, as you walk down the street, we're all looking at people in a different way.
Right, and I mentioned that earlier as well. I'm actually looking at people. I felt like I was really had come far from looking at people just based on what their outside looks like. But now that Trump has been in office and so many people have come out with so much anger and vitriol towards minorities or towards people who are different. I am now noticing that I look at people differently again, and I don't want to be like that. I'm looking at, some hetero white dude and saying, "Are you voting against me? Are you trying to take away my rights?" And I'm just like nervous around people now. So I don't want to be like that either. But it is unfortunately a moment in time that we're kind of all in, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting
Again.
too, because even over the last few years, before 2016, a lot of the organizations that had kind of grown up before gay marriage and all the rights that we had achieved up to that point, but the organizations such as GLAAD, HRC, and so forth. But there was a lot of conversations going around where they're like, are they still going to be relevant? Are they still going to be needed? And because we felt like society had kind of adapted and grown and evolved to a point where it was a lot of these issues were non-issues, and
We're
yet
not.
at the same time where we do have that there's this whole ray of positivity and hope, because we know that a lot of young people, the whole concept of being gay or lesbian is a non-issue, and they look at you and say, you got to have something more interesting than that to give me. And so it's like we're wrestling with
Right.
that gray zone in between right now, where I would say I think a lot of those organizations are now reminded, and we're all reminded, that they do have a need. We do need them here.
They definitely do have a need, and you're correct. And I feel like what we were experiencing was complacency. Once gay marriage had been passed, everybody's like, all right, we're all good. We're accepted. We're not. But as this last 4 years has really proven, is that we're not accepted. As I mentioned before, I'm a double minority. I'm Latino. I'm gay. And in these times, I'm reminded of that. I was complacent in the last before Trump, where it was like, I'm just a regular California guy, American, just like you. It doesn't matter if I'm gay, it doesn't matter if I'm Latino. It matters I'm a good person, right? And now, so there was complacency for all of us, but now we were shocked by all of the numbers of people that have come out, showing us that we are different, and making it known that we're not completely accepted, right? You have all these people in Middle America that are coming out with their own weapons and whatnot, and trying to show people that they're not the same as other people, that we all are different, and that's very scary. And so yes, we definitely have the need for HRC and for gay rights, or gay organizations that promote gay rights and promote equality across the board. And as we were discussing earlier about Justice Amy Coney Barrett, if her now being nominated to the Supreme Court will now really is women's reproductive rights are the first gamble that we're worried about, and then everything's going to be after that. Gay rights, rights for all people of ethnic backgrounds, and immigrants, and all these things that people were really worried about are really going to come to fruition, because there's going to be a reckoning, and it's going to be from the Supreme Court, and they're going to show us how different we are if you don't fit into the Caucasian hetero white, I already said Caucasian, standard that they're really looking for, which is,
but
so that is scary.
The uplifting part was just that so many politicians, so many folks that were LGBT people that were running for office won, including Oklahoma and Kansas and some of the more obscure places where you wouldn't think that would happen. And then going towards the idea of rights, my favorite story was the sheriff, or the woman that was in the sheriff's department in Cincinnati, Ohio, or that area, and she was fired for being lesbian, and she turned around and ran for the office of the sheriff and ran against the guy who fired her, and she won, and she just
awesome.
So those are such uplifting stories, but I think they can remind us of what we have to work for, because of the fact that you can still be fired all throughout this country just because you're gay or lesbian, bisexual, or transgender.
Right. And that's something that we should all, take notice of, and still be reminded that we are living in divisive times. There has been an uprising of the far right that has shown that they don't want people who are different than them around us, and they're not going away, unfortunately. And even if Biden does win, they're still going to be around, because they have now been given the credence to come forward and say whatever they want because of Trump, and they're going to continue to do so. So we need people like this new sheriff in Cincinnati, this woman who is who running for office. We need people who are different, who are still going to stand up and try to fight for equality across America, which is something we all need. And so if I could segue to something here in California, Proposition 16, I don't know if you've ever heard that. We just had something called Proposition 16 on the ballot, which was the overturning of Proposition 209, which was the which was the ban of affirmative action back in 1996. Yeah. And so it's funny, but it did not pass. And so it had over 50% of people that were not interested. And I wonder, who were all these people that were out demonstrating and in the streets for months and months this summer, asking for equal rights and asking for equality and asking for a level playing field, which is affirmative action in California. And so it was kind of disheartening. I would not be affected by affirmative action. In 1996, I would have been, because that's when I was applying to college. But now, I wouldn't, because I'm not working in government or anything like that in that sense. But this is what Californians were asking for, and we still had an overwhelming majority that came out and voted against it. So there are people, even in this fabulous blue state that I live in, California, even as this liberal bastion that is the West Coast, we have a lot of people within our own backyards, within our own neighborhoods, that are still saying, nope, you're not equal. Nope, we're not going to help you out. Nope, we're not going to give you any extra advantages, or we're not going to hear what you guys have been crying about, or asking for, demanding for all these months. And we're still we don't want that kind of level playing field for people who come from disadvantaged communities and things like that. So, it's everywhere, unfortunately. So we do need people that come out like this woman in Cincinnati. And there's also a trans woman, I think it's in Delaware or New Hampshire, that just is the first Delaware for the Senate, right?
Yeah.
And she's the first elected to the Senate, which is awesome. It's the first transgender. Yeah, Sarah McBride. Sarah, that's right. I couldn't remember her name. I'm stoked about her. I'm so happy. And she's the first out trans person, and she's first elected to Senate. That's amazing. We need more people like that, and we need more of what you do right here of the show, and people that are coming out and just living our lives. You're not even I'm not even hanging from the top of the hill saying I'm gay. It's just like we're just living lives, right? We all should have an equal playing field in life, in America especially, and having this show is great too. So thank you.
Well, thanks. And I almost feel like as you're talking, it's like it's the tale of two countries. And so, we're on one track where we're continuing to evolve, and we elect people based not upon our prejudices, but we elect them or choose to be friends with them or choose to interact with them based upon who they are, their character, and who they are as a person. And then there's this whole other side that just likes to put folks in boxes. And if you don't fit in quite the box that they believe we used to be, then we're out. And so it'll be interesting to see, because I think the biggest shock is that so many people did vote for Trump. I think that's the biggest shock for all of us, is that we thought, wow, I heard people in California telling me it's going to be a landslide. There's no way, but it wasn't. And so we have to wrestle with all that in 2021 moving forward.
Definitely, man. I mean, and you're right. We are living literally in two countries, and we have to, continue to, like you said, to continue to keep these organizations alive and going to continue the fight, because it's not over. Where equality is not completely there. We're never, unfortunately, going to live in an equal and just society, but we can try to get there. There's obviously utopia that everybody wants to get to, that it's a dream, it's a fantasy, but working towards equality, accepting all people, whether even people that I know. I have a couple of friends at the gym that fit into that hetero Caucasian thing, and I know they voted for Trump, and they love me, they adore me, and they're sweet to me and everything. And I have to remember, it's like, no matter what, these guys are still nice to me. Even I still have to be nice to them. I still live in a society where we have to live with each other. And even though I know they're voting for people and for policies that are straightforward against me, I still want to be accepting of everybody, and we all need to remember that we have to be accepting of everybody in society for us to live in a harmonious world.
I like that. Well, I agree. I'm hoping that perhaps we'll make this a habit, and we'll get together every few months and just kind of do a reality check of where we are and how where we're going.
I would love to, and like I said, I'm the whole West Coast liberal section here, and I'll give you my Latino American spin. There's so much that I still have to deal with regard to being an American Latino, and people that still constantly ask me where I'm from and why my name is Aaron and not Jose. So I still have to deal with things like that. It's like, so yes, please, I would love to keep the conversation going, and I'll love to give you a West Coast perspective at any time you want. It'd be great.
That's wonderful. So in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you in the real world soon. And thanks so much for being here with us.
No, thank you, Matt. Great for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Feels good, so good.